And we are here. So let me just finish here. So hello everyone who are watching us here on the YouTube channel. Yes, you can. We are back here to you guys just to practice our speaking skills. And today we have a guest again, which is Gustavo. Gustavo have been doing a lot of videos with us, have been part of our YouTube channel. And we're gonna enjoy here this time to practice our speaking skills. Maybe we're gonna learn new topics, new vocabularies, and we hope that we can do it as good as possible. And hello, Gustavo. It's a pleasure to meet you again. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Hello, Alexandro. It's a pleasure to be here again. Thanks for having me again, and it's great to have this conversation with you every Friday night.
Nice. The pleasure is mine, my friend. The pleasure is mine. So today we had a lot to discuss here. We have so many topics, and I hope you enjoy it because I have been choose some topics here since yesterday. I hope we can have a great conversation. So as always, yes, you can use our YouTube channel, and we're gonna practice about some English topics. So if you don't know yet, guys, I'm from Brazil, and you, Gustavo, where are you from?
Well, I'm also from Brazil.
Nice. So we have a lot to discuss about our country here. And the first question, of course, is gonna be for you. What is your country famous for? So what is the most famous things about Brazil and your opinion?
Well, you know what? I've been abroad quite a few times, and every person out of how to say every foreigner, they always talk to me about football. They said, I think Brazil is famous for football, and I think samba and the nightclubs. That's one of the top
Very
three
interesting.
things.
Very interesting. To be honest, they call football, but in English it's more like a soccer. Is right? Is it right? They call soccer in the
Yeah.
foreign countries.
Well, I visit many countries, and most of them they say football. They say that only the Americans say soccer. So you should say football. They will understand that.
Oh, nice, nice. Yes, as I have been learning English, I had heard a lot of the both sides. I have been heard a lot of soccer, but to be honest, the first times when I made some acquaintance with the English literature, I was using the word football, but a lot of teachers tried to correct me, saying that I should say, if I'm studying American English, soccer, but the both, as you just said, I have been I paid some attention about that. They understand the both sides. They like to call football soccer, but football is our native language because football is, as you just said, Brazil is well known for his football players and our football games. So I agree with you. And the second question, what is
And
the
also, if you
climate
say
like in your Go ahead. Sorry, we had some delay here. So go ahead.
don't worry about it. I mean, also it makes more sense if you say foot. You play with your foot, so it's a ball. That's what out Brazil
Really,
also
really.
said
If
to me.
can
Only
I
in the
say foot?
U.S. they would say soccer, but football makes more sense. Foot. I mean, because you play with your foot, you kick the ball with your feet, so it's both. And then it's make more sense.
Nice, nice. Makes sense. So now the second question is more related to our climate. So now it's quite difficult to say because the climate change have been growing and maybe we had some difference. But what is the climate like in your country? So what makes you, when you talk about climate,
Well, I
so
think in
what
our
you can
country,
say?
the Brazil is so
I'm so sorry we had some delay here. I couldn't hear you. So can you hear me, Gustavo?
Sorry, Alexandra, I didn't get what you said. I mean, the connection is really bad here. It's a poor connection. Can you say it again?
Yes, yes. Me too. My connection, I believe, is not the best today. But I asked you the second question. What is the climate like in your country? Could you tell us a little bit about what you think about this topic?
Sure. As I was saying, Brazil is really big, a huge country, and it can have different climate in different regions. In South, I would say, I think quite it's a little bit more colder than the north. So I live near south in São Paulo. It's sometimes it can be colder, in the winter, but this winter has been a little bit warmer. So the climate, I would say, in our country in general is there's a hot climate. I mean, around the 20 degrees to 40 degrees.
Yes, indeed. Have you been follow the news related to the Greek, we call the Gracia in Portuguese, but in Greek, in English, we had some more than 40 degrees Celsius there, and there were a lot of firewoods there. Unfortunately, people have been suffering, and I heard that unfortunately, one person died because the warm weather, unfortunately there. And as you just said, the climate change have been growing, and unfortunately, it's not. It's quite impossible to understand the weather today. So Brazil has the 4 seasons at the same day sometimes. So it's a tropical country, as people call it.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't heard this news, but that's just, actually in Brazil. It's not something usual. Somebody die of I would say of the because of the heating. It's more usual that people die because of the colder in the winter. The temperature goes so down that they can die of cold. But I never heard of someone dying of heating because of the weather in Brazil.
Yes,
But
yes, me
still,
too.
that's really sad to hear.
Yes, me too. Me too. I just saw sometimes homeless people. Unfortunately, they lose their lives because not because they have no assistance, because the government have been provide a lot of assistance for these people, but unfortunately, there are a lot of people who who rather be on the streets to be on the safe place. I don't know why, but that is a social problem, and we have been deal with as best as possible. And I agree with you. Now, let's gonna jump for the next topic. So the next topic is gonna be travel. Would you like to say for us, the first question is, where was the last place you visited on holiday?
Well, last holiday I've been. Well, it were inside Brazil for my anniversary. Me and my wife, we completed 3 years together. Actually, 3 years of marriage. But we've been together for almost 10 years. That was 3 years of marriage and our anniversary. So I went to Brotas. I don't know if you have heard. There was waterfalls and many lakes, and we've been there just for the two of us without the kids. We left the kids with our parents, and it was only the two of us, just for vacation and
Yeah, sure.
celebrating
What was the
our
place?
love. Let's say
What was the place?
Brotas.
Brotas.
Brotas. It's
Yes,
in São
yes,
Paulo.
yes. I've heard that this place about that place, but you told us that there are waterfalls there. There are a lot of lakes, isn't it?
Yes, yes, that's true. For next year, we're planning to go to South for the. I think there's this wine path where you have many winer producers,
Yes.
and we want to know this place. We want to taste all these different types of wine from south of Brazil.
Nice, nice. What place? Which place are you talking about? The maybe Rio Grande do Sul?
Serra Gaúcha, where we
Nice,
have a lot of wines
nice. I
produced.
to be honest, I gonna, how can I say? If it was my plan, maybe I would not choose Rio Grande do Sul because I'm not liking to the cold weather. But I have heard that it's a beautiful place to be with your wife or your girlfriend. It's gonna be a very good decision. But I have been thinking about my next holiday on the north of Brazil, maybe Alagoas and things like that. I'm thinking about it because I have been, how can I say, have been suffer here, man, because the weather it have been so cold this the last week is because I use my motorcycle. You know, I ride my motorcycle to my job every day, so I have been suffered a lot with the cold weather. Maybe that means there's some correlation about that. That's why I'd like to, how can I say, to go away from this cold weather here.
What about the weather? How is gonna be like next week? What's the forecast for next week in your place?
Let me see here. To be honest, I didn't look at this information yet, but let me see. I have been heard some people say that it's gonna be rainy the next week. Let me see. Let me see. Forecast for the weather forecast for the next week. The next week is gonna be, yes, man. Unfortunately, I have bad news. I have bad news. It's gonna be rainy as as I'm seeing here. Let me share here with you my screen just to see. I hope it's a lie because I don't know. As you can see, Sunday we have, maybe we're gonna have a quite little sunshine, but between clouds. And Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday we're gonna have rainy. Not so heavy rainy, but it's gonna be rainy these days.
Mhm.
Now let's get back here. Okay, let's back to the topic. So you just said that you have visited a lot of places, but now let's move to the next question. Would you like to go back there again? As you just said, you went to the I forgot the name again. Went to the
Yeah, I went to Brotas in São Paulo. Well, of
yes,
course, I would go back there again many times. I mean, I think it's a place where you can never get how to say enough of it. Never gonna get enough of it's a nice place, good weather usually, and there's those lakes, waterfalls. There are many you can, yeah, and also water parks. There's a lot of water parks there, so it's a
nice.
good place to take your wife, girlfriend, but also you take the whole family together with you. So it's a nice place, not far away from my home. I mean, I would take like 2.5 hours to get there, and I said certainly will take my kids this next time so they can enjoy and have fun uh, as well.
Nice. It's gonna be awesome. They will love it. I hope they will love it. Our childs have, how can I say? They love to be with us, but when we are traveling, I don't know, but they are totally different. They are changed the personality because they love to travel. They love to spend time outside of home. Even when we just went to our parents' house and things like that, they love to be there. They are very good child. Not that they were not a good child, but they change a little bit. They stay so excited about it. And so
Yeah,
the
and
next,
my they
go ahead.
love pool. They love to be in pool. They love water parks. Everything that has to do with the water. and that they can jump in. They love those kind of things. So for sure they will they will like this.
Yes, yes, I can imagine it. My son love to be in the pool because sometimes we went to the some parents house here, not some parents, how can I say, our relatives house, and they have some pools there, and when we went there we usually uh, jump on the pool, and my son love it. My son likes to be with me all day long. My both sons, my son and my daughter, my both child like to be there with me, and it's about, yeah, even to be honest, even I like it to be on the pool. I like to join the water and things like that. And what kind of tourist destination do you usually prefer? So what time? Let's try here to choose one destination that you already went, but now you would like to be there again. You just said about the Brotas, but let's change a little bit the the route. Let's change a little bit the place that you said. What kind of tourist destination do you usually prefer? Let's think about all our country.
About our country, place that I like to go. I mean, well, I like to be in the nature, in the forest. You know, I like to have this contact with the nature, with animals. So, but I also like to go to the beach. I mean, the sea, to see the sun rising
Nice.
at the,
Is there
yeah.
any park like that? Is there any place closer to your home now that you like to be with your family? For instance, a park, maybe a shopping mall, maybe a zoo.
Yes, there is a park. A park. It's a beautiful place actually here in our city. So almost every weekends I take my kids there. It's really beautiful. It's a nice climate. There's a lot of trees, so you can always take a place at below a tree and of this shadow and enjoy a good time with an you can also can even make a barbecue if you have a barbecue, bring foods, just sit in the grass along with the friends and the family. This place we call how we call this? It's like eco parking, park ecological.
Nice. We had some place like this here. I was looking here while you were talking. I was looking to the name, which is a famous name. Let me see. How can I say in English? I don't know exactly. Okay, it's like a parrot's corner. I don't know if you could understand. Parrot is
Mm-hmm.
a type of bird,
I
but
understood.
exactly. Let me type here to you. I'm gonna type her in the chat. It's called something like that. I don't know if the Google help me with, with this translation. Let me try see here. Parrot's car. Yes, it's something like that. It's something like that. Parrot's Corner. Sorry. And it's a beautiful place. It's exactly as you just tried to describe here with about your city. And there are a lot of natural pools. I don't know. It's like a lake. It's like a little lakes. There are a lot of little lakes there, but it's more seems to be like a pool. It's a but everything is natural. So it's so beautiful, but unfortunately, it's quite difficult to get a place there. You have to arrive earlier to get a place to make some barbecue, to maybe got a place to stay with your family close to the pools to this place. And sometimes it's be good, but just maybe not always. We just try to go there once a year maybe because it's quite how can I say Yes, maybe we're gonna be feel tired about that because it's quite distance and it's quite difficult to get a place there. But it's a beautiful place and it's for free. You can enjoy everything for free there. But that's very interesting. How interesting this parks. And the last but not least, what's the best way to save money while traveling? So, if you just said for us that you travel a lot from all over the world, maybe a lot of countries, and tell us a little bit, give some tips that you use it to survive there, to save money there.
Well, that's hard to say. I don't know if I'm I'm the best example for to say how to save money. I mean, I have three kids and wife. Every time we go around, go travel, we spend a lot of money, especially because of the kids, and because we want to have a good time. It's like, yeah, I don't think much about the money when I'm traveling with my family. I mean, it's like, of course, we set aside a part of money of we can spend, but it's like this is our trip. We don't usually go travel like for places far away. Like we don't take the airplane, or usually we go to places like 2 or 3 hours from our house. But usually when we go, we it's like, well, we will not, maybe we will not come back here so easy. Perhaps it will take a long time, so we're gonna have fun, we're gonna do whatever we want to do. But
Yes,
to save
that's
money,
awesome.
I don't know, perhaps in one thing that I think is like, I don't travel every month, so maybe every 3 months. So I save money before the trip. That's it. Save money, know how much you're gonna expend there, and set aside this amount of money for, like, prepare yourself. And then when you go, you don't think much of it. Just, you know how much you have to expend, and you know how much it will cost everything. I think the best way is plan. Plan where you're gonna stay, how you're gonna go, where you're gonna, the places you're gonna visit. Uh, Research how much it costs, uh, and that's it. I think the best way to save money is researching and planning, doing your uh, yeah. I think that's it.
Yes.
Planning what you're gonna do.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I have been trying to do it, but unfortunately, the last years have been I have been facing some problems, some troubles related to my budget, my personal budget, of course, because I just bought my house, I bought a new car, and now I had some problems with my how can I say, with my vehicles because I had to make some maintenance with them, so I spent a little money, but I was planning to travel. At least now I had to change a little bit my plans, but I'm planning to travel and the end of the year this year. And maybe, like you just said, I'm not like to maybe went to far away places. I just went to, like you just said, 1 or 2 hours, maybe 3 hours away from your home, because you can enjoy more, you can enjoy more your time, and you can enjoy more your money. Because if you plan to travel so long away, so far away from your house, from your city, maybe you're gonna spend so many money or much money with the airplane, the air tickets, and maybe the hotels and things like that. So I usually rent Airbnb. I don't know if you have been using Airbnb. Airbnb have been rent some place like that.
Yes, I did it several times.
Nice. So I have been renting place like this, and I got so, how can I say? I should say what good place I have been rent by Airbnb, man, because it's cheaper and it's safe and it's a good quality. I have been face how can I say, I have been feeling, I have been got so many good experience by Airbnb, and I have been saving money. But as you just said, planning and searching and looking for the best way to travel. that's gonna be the best tip that we're gonna give to our assistants, to the followers of this YouTube channel. Now, the last but not least, we're gonna practice the last minutes here about transportation. Do you prefer public transportation or private transportation? What do you prefer? Maybe you already use it, all of them, but which is the best for you?
Well, it's funny to say. I mean, it depends on where you are. I mean, I've been abroad. I've been in nice places. I've been in some places where the public transportation was amazing. I mean, nothing better than just it was cheaper. But in Brazil, the public transportation it can be a bit rush. I mean, it's crowded. The buses are crowded. A lot of people. You get stuck in the traffic. So I would rather choose private transportation if I had the chance, if I can afford it, of course. Sometimes for people that cannot afford, you can just take the public transportation, but it's not as good as it could be.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. If you could afford it, it's gonna be awesome to get a Uber, or maybe our 99 to as we 99. Yes, I have been using more, but as we work for a big company, we had the opportunity to use Airbnb to maybe to move for other workplaces from one another. When we travel, we use the Uber, so they provide us a good quality of transportation, and that is awesome. But if we had to move from these places by public transportation, it would be very difficult and dangerous, because we had so many problems with the how can I say, robbers and people who are dangerous. So that's why we have that is maybe not just Brazil, but from all over the world, they have been facing this problem. But I believe that Brazil, it's much bigger. The problem related to safety, public safety, is much bigger than the majority of country. Of course, there are a lot of countries which is more poor countries than ours, and maybe there it's gonna be worse. But here in Brazil, it's quite difficult when you talk about safety places to be, and maybe safe place to go around the city, to just moving on the cities. But I agree with you. In my opinion, Uber or buy your own car. And what's the most popular means of transportation in your hometown? What do you think about this? What is the best, or what is the most useful, or people have been using more to go around the city, to go to job, to go to the places?
Sorry, Alexandra, I didn't hear what you say. I think the connection is still
Okay.
you're having problems. Can you
The
say it
number
again?
two. Sure. Number two. What's the most popular means of transportation in your hometown?
For sure, it is the bus. I mean, I would love to say it is the metro, but in my city, there's no metro. It's only in the big cities like São Paulo, and so I mean the most popular would be the buses.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, Brazil is quite, how can I say, it's not so developed yet, but they are planning to do it more with subways. But how can I say, at my city here, Curitiba, maybe you already know, I believe you know very well because you have been here so many times to work, but maybe in our city, we should have subway too, because unfortunately, our transportation have been more and more crowded than ever, and it's quite difficult to use public transportation here. That's why I use my motorcycle. I ride my motorcycle every day. And now let's see.
Oh
Number
yeah,
three.
motorcycle, of course.
Exactly, exactly. Motorcycle. I haven't used my motorcycle. I'm so sorry because we have some delay here, but if I interrupt you, go ahead because there are 2 or 3 seconds of
No,
a little
I'm
bit delay.
sorry. I'm sorry. I was just saying that the motorcycle is a. Sorry, Alexandra. I was just saying that motorcycle is our also very popular. Yeah, you're right. I think people that they don't wanna I would say get buses and they buy a motorcycle would be cheaper and would be faster to go around the places.
Yeah, yes, indeed, indeed. And the number three, it easy or it is easier or is it easier to catch a bus in your country? So as you just said, maybe you already answered that. It's quite difficult because it's crowd. But would you like to answer again?
Sorry, you broke up. Can you say
Oh,
again?
okay. Yes, sure. Number three now, you just answered, but if you had anything to increase to increase at your to add at your last answer, is it easy to catch a bus in your city or in your country?
Yeah, let's say in my city, not say in the country. I think it can vary from the place you are, it can vary from the city. We also have like rich cities and some poor cities in our country. So it depends on. But in my city here, I think it's easy to catch a bus. I think the worst part is to find a seat. So most of the time you have to go standing up on the bus.
Yes, indeed, indeed. So the last question, let's jump for the next question. Sorry, the last question is the number five now. What do you think will become the most popular means of transportation in your country in the future? What do you think that's gonna be overcoming the other ways of transportation?
Well, I still think it's a bus. A bus can pick up many people, and it will still, if you have less cars and more buses, and you have a, if you the government they improve the quality of the public service regarding transportation. I think this is the future. I think we can still believe that in the future we can have less cars in the city, so less traffic, less pollution. And
Yes.
I hope that the future will be the public transportation, like subways, that they are less polluters than the cars.
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. The subway, it's gonna be awesome if every city, each city at our country has their own subway connections with other cities. Can you imagine that? Maybe I can go to São Paulo from Curitiba by a subway. Could you imagine something like that? We're gonna have a right line, a straight line between São Paulo
Yeah.
and Curitiba, for instance.
Yes, faster, cheaper.
Exactly. Cheaper and faster. Very good. So I believe that let me just see here. Okay, so now, I don't know if you have more time to practice. How is your time now? How is your free time there?
Well, to be honest with you, I still have a little more, a few minutes, but we can stick
Nice,
until the end of this, at least at the end of this topic.
nice, nice. Perfect. So patient and politeness. Let's gonna jump for for the first question here. What do you think patient is? What do you think about patient? How can you describe it?
Well, patience, I would say. I'm a patient person. I mean, I wait and I not get angry that easy. I well, I don't know how to describe patience for you. I mean, but I think patience is something that, or someone that can sit for a few hours or wait a few minutes without get anxious. I think that's it. Or get
Yes,
bored
indeed.
or get angry.
Indeed. But could you describe someone that you think is a most patient person that you know? Could you think in someone?
Myself, I think I'm the most patient person that I know. Someone
Really?
else, yeah.
Yeah, give us someone else. Who do you know that you consider to be a patient person, one of the patient person?
My grandmother. My grandmother, she
Nice,
was a patient person. Yeah, she was very
nice.
patient with me, with all my siblings, with my cousins, with my aunts and uncles. She was very patient.
Nice, nice. And I very, how can I say? I could not remember now anything, but I hope so that I can't believe that my mother was one of the more the patient's person that I know it until now. My mother is gonna be one which I would like to choose to represent these qualities. And do you think patient is important?
Of course it is. I mean, you need patience to get to your to achieve your goals, to overcome your challenges. Patience is necessary. So sometimes you just need to wait. The time, something in Portuguese we usually say, time is the best teacher. So sometimes you just need to wait, take a deep breath, hold on, and then the things will start happening. I mean, there's a time to everything, and there's also time for patience. You need to have patience to achieve your goals.
Perfect answer. Perfect answer. I agree. And the next but not least, let me see. Have you ever lost your patience? Could you remember a time when you could not contain yourself about passion?
Well, despite I consider myself a patient person, I frequently lost my patience. I mean, yeah, sometimes I go crazy. Things got out of control, and then it's like I reach my limit. I mean, then out of the sudden, I cannot take anymore, and I just threw it all, and I say things that I'm feeling. I mean, I think that's not bad also, because everybody has a limit, and then when you reach these limits, you need to put out of all this frustration, all this angry, and usually I do with someone that I trust the most, which is my wife. Of course, we have our time to argue, but she always have the time to listen to what I have to say, and then when I calm down, she turns back to me again, and then we can have a good conversation, and I can tell her about my feelings, and she will share with me about her feelings.
That's very interesting, man. That's very interesting. It's quite difficult to find someone like this, so you have to be grateful for her. So that's very important. And
Of
let's
course.
talk about polite. Let's talk about now. Are you a polite person?
Well, yes, I would say so. Since I was kid, I was always my uncles and aunts. They always, I would say, said that how to say to give compliments. They always give compliments about how polite I was. I mean, and this is something that I'm very proud of, being polite, and not only being polite, but how also treat people with respect. and that's not
Nice.
usual. Usual in the place we live today, especially in these days. People there are not so polite. They not treat people with respect.
Yes, man. That is one of the, I don't know if you notice, but patience and politeness is two of the biggest quality that people and human beings should have. Each human beings should have the at least three. One of them, I believe the mayor of them is the love. People should love more each others. The next one should be polite and patient, because with these three, maybe with these three qualities, people could do so many incredible things. People could make this world better, and that's why I have been choose this, because I thought interesting this topic. And you just said so. You just answered at number 8, because you told you that your cousins and other parents or relatives said to you or told you that you are patient, you are an example of that, or maybe you are example of polite. And that is the last question. And I really appreciate it. I believe we did, man. We talked about many talks for today. Let's just make some recapitulations. Let's just watch it again that we just studied today. We talked about our country. So what is some topics, famous topics at our country, a lot about the weather, about the things. And we talked about when we learn about travel vocabularies, and we learn about some place that you're gonna travel that I'm would like to travel to. We talked about transportation. There are a lot of ways to get to your worker, to get at the places, and we use it so many then. And patient and politeness. We learn about some vocabularies related to these two topics here. And I'm so glad that we made it. We finished this English speaking decision here. And I'm so glad that you made it, that you came here to practice with me, even at your leisure time, at your high school, at your college, and sorry, high school, at your college. And I'm so grateful, man. I hope you can do it that and so many times. And of course, I hope you see you in the next week here on the city, Curitiba. And
I hope so too, Alexander. I'm looking forward for it, and thank you for having me back again. Have a nice weekend, my friend.
And you too, man. For everyone who are watching us here on the YouTube channel, I would like to finish this recording session and say thank you to watch this video up to the end. And don't forget to subscribe. And let's see, what do you thought about our English speaking session today? Let's see here in the comments below. And hope see you guys in the next English session here.